Hi everybody, Max Lucado here from my home to yours. God bless you today. May He give you strength. May He lift you up. May He give you everything that you need and more to be everything that He wants you to be. We're doing our best to keep each other buoyed during this time of unprecedented challenge. And with His help, we will get through it. In fact, we're going to be better because of it. But we must avail ourselves, right, of everything. The days of just an occasional sipping on the fountain of faith no longer suffice. We must stand beneath the waterfall of God's goodness and become stronger and stronger, submerged and baptized and just flooded with everything that God has to give us through His Scripture, through His saints, through worship. Through tools, everything that we can do to stay strong, because these are not easy days. No, sir, not easy days at all. One of the tools that we're making available during this season are a series of online Bible studies. Some of you are acquainted with them. In the month of June, we're going to kick off a new one based on a book I wrote called Facing Your Giants. Facing Your Giants. And it rotates around, it focuses on the life of David. We're all facing our share of giants. And I'd love for you to find courage in the story of David, because David provides courage. In fact, don't you think the most famous story in the life of David is the story of David facing Goliath? I'm opening my Bible to 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel, if you want to thumb your way towards 2 Samuel, or you can do so later. I want to talk to you about why David picked up 5 stones with which to face Goliath. If you know the story, you know that Goliath, that behemoth of a warrior, was threatening the Hebrew army every day, morning and evening, for 40 days. And nobody dared to defy him until David showed up. And David was just a shepherd boy, probably a teenager, bringing some food to his brothers. And when he saw the giant, he went down into the creek and he pulled out 5 smooth stones. And he put all 5 of them in his pouch. And he drew near to the Philistine. And at the right time, he released one and he brought down the giant. Have you ever wondered why 5? Why not 6 stones? Why not 2 stones? Well, I wonder if there's an answer to that question. Again, tucked away in the book of 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel, I'm looking in verse 18. 2 Samuel 18. Did you know that Goliath had 4 relatives? Yeah. 2 Samuel, their names here, Ishbi-Benob was one of them. He was a descendant of the giants, and his bronze spearhead weighed more than 7 pounds. That's verse 16 of 2 Samuel. And then staying in the same chapter, there's someone by the name of Saph, S-A-P-H. He's described as another descendant of the giants. Then there was a brother of Goliath of Gath. The handle of his spear was as thick as a weaver's beam. That's verse 19. And these 3 seem harmless compared to King Kong. I'm looking in verses 20 and verse 22. There was a giant there in Gath with 6 fingers on his hands and 6 toes on his feet. 24 fingers and toes. He was another of those descended from Rapha. All in all, these 4 were descended from Rapha in Gath. And so there's that question. Why did David quarry a quintet of stones? Well, it could very well be that he didn't think one rock would do. It could very well be that he wanted to be prepared. Could very well be that for all he knew, he was going to put all 5 of those stones to use because of these behemoth, these large, these mountainous lumberjack, maybe brothers, but at least cousins that Goliath had. And he wanted to be ready. He wanted to be ready to face the additional 4 if he needed to do just that. He quarried a quintet of stones because he knew Goliath had 4 relatives the size of Tyrannosaurus Rex. And for all he knew, they would come running over the hill to defend their relative. And he was ready to empty the chamber if that's what it took. Imitate him. Sometimes one prayer is not enough. One apology won't do it. One day of resolve does not suffice. Sometimes you get knocked down and you got to get up a time or 2 or 10. But don't quit. Keep loading the rocks. Keep swinging the sling. I remember some years ago I shared a story with our church. I shared it on Good Friday, and a member of our church recalled that Good Friday sermon, how I had told a story about an elementary school teacher and the burial of the I can'ts. She had her students make a list of things that began with the phrase, I can't. I can't get my homework done. I can't get along with my brother. I can't wake up on time. She had all of them place their I can'ts in a shoebox, and they went out and they buried them in the playground. And I urged everybody, I said, why don't you just bury your I can'ts? Well, the writer of the letter recalled that his wife had died of cancer just a few months prior to that Good Friday. And on Easter weekend, the grief was pulling him under. In one of her final acts, she had placed some poppy seeds in their lawn. They never grew. So he decided to put that ground to further use. He went home after that Good Friday sermon and he made a list of his I can'ts. I just can't get over her death. I can't ever love again. I can't face my work. And on Saturday morning, he buried the list in the soil that contained the seeds that his wife had planted. He, in his letter to me, said that brought him an unexplainable feeling of relief. But what happened the next day, on Easter morning, that was something else. He went back to that burial site where he had buried his I can'ts. He was just going to meditate and say a prayer, but as he approached the site, he was taken aback, and there, swaying in the light breeze, was a single red poppy. You see, he didn't give up, and God responded with a miracle. Friend, don't give up. I don't know how God is going to respond. I really don't. That's up to him. But I do know this. He is the God of new beginnings. He is the God of new beginnings. And sometimes we just got to keep trying, keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. And at the right time, in the right way, there will be a poppy. There will be a breakthrough. The giant will go down and a new chapter will begin. That's the truth, my friend. Stand on it today.